Hey guys, so I can't actually play this, I'm sure, because, you know, YouTube picks and chooses who can upload the shit and who can't. But in the upcoming Simpsons Halloween Treehouse of Horror thing, they're doing an homage to Death Note. That's right, Death Note. One of my favorite animes, one of the best animes ever. And, despite what, with Simpsons going downhill and all that, the fact that they're paying homage to Death Note, um, but rather here it's called Death Tome. But basically, it starts out with Lisa. As you can see, it's drawn, in anime style. She's narrating, um, basically the way Light was in the first episode. The episode starts off, and you see him. He's walking, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the news every day is the same thing on constant repeat. This world is rotten." He goes to school. Death Note drops. But here she's walking there. She's just walking, and I like this gender reveal napalm. That's great. But you have the note, the Death Note, of course, Death Tome. Um, Now remember, the human whose name is written in this notebook shall die, but they changed it to be a little more comedic. Any person whose name is written in this death tome will meet their death and be dead. You don't say. Um, and I will kill you till you are dead. So that's the first note, how to use it. So pretty much any human whose name is written in this notebook shall die. But just to make it, will meet their death and be dead. Which I think is fucking hilarious. And then there's the second rule, which actually I want to talk about. You must specify how the victim will die, and you may not kill the same way twice. Now imagine if that was a rule in the Death Note. How would that affect the show? So that would kind of be like, would the heart attack still be a default? Like if the cause of death is not written within the next 40 seconds, or 6 minutes, 40 seconds, or whatever it is, that the person will die of a heart attack, would that just be this, or would the whole thing have to change? Because if you have to write how the victim dies and you can't use the same way twice, because a lot of the people Light kills are heart attacks. So would he be able to just continue using heart attacks? And I was thinking about this actually today, about with the whole thing starts pretty much with Ray Pember. Um if he hadn't killed Ray Pember, then everything would have been fine, really, because even after Ray dies, they they really should have read his notes, because they should have had the notes from him that he was writing down, because when he's following Light, when him and that girl goes to Spaceland, he writes down and says that Light Yagami no cause concern, that there's he's not Kira, on during school, during the day he's in school, at night he goes to cram school, and on his days off he meets with friends and goes out on dates, so there's no reason to be concerned. So had Light not killed Ray Pember and just let him do his job, he would have given it to the FBI or Light, or L or whatever, and L would have been like, okay. I mean, if you have this FBI agent saying, yeah, there's no, he's at home, when he's been sleeping, he's at school, he's at cram school at night, he's on dates and hanging out with friends when he has free time, it would be impossible for it to be him. I mean, what's L gonna do? I don't believe you. It's, but if this was a rule and he had so many deaths just be heart attacks, he would actually have to be really fucking creative, especially with the other given rules. Because you can control them for a certain amount of time, but you can't make them do anything that's impossible. So like he tested it and said, oh yeah, this person's gonna go to the Eiffel Tower and die. But they were in prison in Japan, so they wouldn't have been able to go to the Eiffel Tower, which is in France. So therefore it was impossible for that, specification to be met. Therefore, it just goes to a default heart attack. So first off, again, I love the fact that Simpsons is paying homage to just a great fucking anime. It really is. If you want to get into anime, this would definitely be it. No superpowers, no beam struggles, no yelling for entire episodes. There's a lot of inner monologues. Like every character has an inner monologue, and it does get annoying at times, but that's part of the show. They're trying to catch Kira. Kira's trying to stay away from them, and so they're all having this inner monologue of their thoughts and ideas, and especially Elle and Light. Constant. It's just a constant thing. Sometimes it seems like there's more inner monologues than there is actual dialogue between characters. But actually, what does it see if there's wait, let's see. Do something death by falling. So I guess that might be a like an example of what's allowed. But not being able to kill the same way twice. How would Light work around that? I mean, because there's only so many ways you could kill. And quite frankly, I mean, you could do some of the things like in the movie, where, I mean, as much as I hate the fucking movie, the Netflix one, this the guy who killed Light's mom in the movie, I think it was, I can't remember, but the guy, he's eating and he like gets impaled on his fork or something. So like Light could do stuff like that. But then again, it's like I said, if this rule was there, would they have to rewrite the Death Note completely? Like, what about the heart attacks? Would that still be default, or could only have like one person have a heart attack? And if you can't think of other ways to kill, what would happen? Would there be a punishment? You die, or I mean, but this is a very, very interesting rule, and I would love to see what would happen in Death Note. Light is apparently smarter than fucking L. So to see him work around this, how can't kill in the same way twice, would be pretty interesting. But as for the actual anime, like I said, I was thinking it's like Ray Penber, he was pretty much saying, yeah, Light's not Kira. So he could have just reported back and Light could have just let him do his thing. And because it's like, as far as they knew, Light didn't know that he was being followed. The only reason he knew he was being followed was because he had Ryuk with him. They didn't know he had a Shinigami with him. So as far as they knew, he didn't know he was being followed. He wasn't doing anything in particular to not be, made aware of. Like, it's not like, oh, well, he must be throwing off, in a kind of like leading us a different way. As far as they know, he didn't know he was being followed. So he could have easily just let Ray Pember finish what he was doing. He would have reported back saying, yeah, he's no cause for concern. He's not Kira because he's in school pretty much all day. He's in school, and then he gets home, he does his homework and this and that, and then he's got cram school at night. And then on his weekends, days off, he goes out with friends, he does this, he does that, but I'm following him around and I see no cause for concern. He's not Kira. And they would have been, okay, like I said, what was L gonna do? No, I don't believe you. I must keep following Light around because I believe he's Kira. It's like, dude, there's no reason to. They would have moved on to someone else, and Light could have just continued because that Ray Pember thing. First, he gets Ray Pember, And then his Ray Pember's fiance gets involved, and this whole thing's just, it's a snowball effect. So had Ray not died, he would have been fine. But Light and his fucking ego and pride and this and that, I was like, nope. And of course, the two people who find out who he actually is end up dying. Ray finds out that Light is Kira at the very end when he dies, because he looks back into the train and sees that Light is actually Kira. And Light just comes out to Naomi Misora and just says, because I'm Kira. He just flat out admits it to her, but he's already killed her, essentially. So he's like, oh, no reason to, no need to worry. She's about to kill herself anyway, so I can just tell her I'm Kira, because she's gonna kill herself. So who's she gonna tell? She's gonna go home. She's gonna kill herself. So I don't need to worry about it. But it's the same thing with Elle. Elle finally realized that Light was Kira, but it was when Elle died. So, but this looks really cool. Animation, it's simple enough where it looks like it's just like a fan made kind of thing, but it looks like it could be Death Note, obviously, except for gender reveal napalms. It's just, and the voice though doesn't. She's just too happy sounding. And it's Lisa Simpson, just that voice. You know, you have this really dark, dreary looking world, you know, and with Light it worked because you had a deeper voice and, you know, a constant repeat. This world is rotten. And it was just, it made more, you know, it puts you more into this world that we're being introduced to. But yeah, it's good to see Death Note having, you know, someone paying an homage to Death Note, because it really is a good anime. And with the that rule being only able to kill a certain way once, do you think that really would have affected anything? Do you think Light would have had a harder time, or do you think he would have been caught a lot easier? Let me know. But yeah, that's really cool. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.